with the Tactical Sport Orange 2. And on the box, yes, CZ TS2 Orange. It's 9mm, 20 round, 5.2 inch bulb barrel. So the bulb barrel is new versus the original Orange. The black poly coat, fiber optic front fixed rear, manual safety, which is a little bit different than the old one, and then orange aluminum grips and a mag well. So let's open it up and have a look. So the box actually, it's same box as the Checkmate. So got a bunch of paperwork and a lock, instruction manual. Who needs instructions? They got more instructions. You get some springs and more springs. What else? And some smaller springs, lots of springs. You get some Cummer, or it's like gun oil. So that's it. You get your cleaning rods over here. You get your loader. Wrong way. There you go. That's your loader. And you get 3 mags. 1, 2, 3, and I think they said they were 20 rounds each. Put that back there. So moves in real nice. There's nothing in it, as you can see. Yeah, that is nice. And the mag well is pretty flush, except for in the back. So as you can see, that's pretty nice. We'll take a look at the original Orange and see what that looks like. Mags, what else we got in here? Some Allen keys or hex wrenches. No idea what that is. Oh, I think that is a cocker, probably. Have to do some research on that. And you get some, looks like the barrel bushings. Alright, so you get a few goodies. A lot more than you would with a another brand. So let's put that back. Put that in here, put the Cummer back in there. And let's take this out and do a one over. Let's compare it to the original Orange. So I happen to have an original Orange right there. So if you, let's take the mag out, get rid of some of this stuff. So if you look at them side by side, you're going to notice the trigger guard is a bit different shape. Trigger itself looks pretty much the same. Same. The grips, the same except for the 2. And the mag wells, well, the mag wells look, yes. So if you look at the Orange 2, it's a lot more flush around here, except for in the back a little bit, but not too bad. On the original Orange, you kind of have this little lip that goes around, and I've heard people complaining about it, that it catches a little bit more. This is a lot more flush. So that's one difference. The other difference is this is orange and this is black. The safeties. So safety on here, let's flip it over. So I am a righty. Oh, you got the ambi safety here. You have a little nub. There it's pretty big. So let's, and it's nice. Real nice and smooth. Where if you're trying to do it on, it's a little bit tougher. So this side, same thing. Yeah, I like that safety. It's new. Old safety. Old safety is a little bit lower. Nothing in here either, as you can see. Yeah, the old safety is a little bit tighter and it's much lower. Whereas on the 2, it's a lot higher. And it's more in tune kind of with your grip. The mag release, a little bit higher on the original Orange, and then the gas pedal is different altogether. This is a big lump. This is much thinner. And although on the old one you've got more space, if you look right in here, you've got a little bit more space. That's a bit more narrow, lower profile. Looking at the mag releases, so the mag releases look about the same. I think the original Orange is a little bit higher, just by a hair. So original Orange 2, and again on this side the serrations are different. They're way more pronounced on the 2 in the front, and the dust cover is thicker. So you'll notice this tapers around. This is thicker, and it's probably for the bulb barrel. We'll take a look at that here next. The hammers, this looks a little bit lower profile, a little bit thinner, probably a little bit lighter. And we'll measure these things in weight and trigger pull and all that. We'll do the full comparison. So if we look, bulb, oh yes, look at that, there's the bull barrel. And it is quite a bit thicker. Take a look at that. So the bull barrel is better. The bull barrel is better just because it'll take more heat. And more heat doesn't heat up, doesn't throw your shot off. So let's take a look. I noticed that the slide is a bit different as well. So if you look at the slide, you've got, it's kind of rounded here at the top, thin profile, it's got some grooves at the top, but when you're racking it, it's a bit thinner. Let's look at the 2. Oh yeah, the 2 is definitely wider in here. So if you're racking, even from the back, it's nice grab. These it's very grippy in here, and on the top as well. See, on the original, you just have the grooves down the front. Here you've got the serrations. So yeah, that is definitely an improvement. And if we flip it over, the barrels are both stainless. The one thing I noticed too is the actual slide up top is it's different shape, and I think the slide down here, just take a look at that, compare them, just a little bit different. But again, remember the oranges are hand fitted in the factory, so they shave everything and make it nice and smooth and all those kind of things. So original Orange, Orange 2, I think there's definitely some nice improvements on the 2. So we'll measure a few things. We'll measure trigger pull and some lengths and stuff. Let's get our trusty tape out. So everybody likes to measure girth. Men like to measure girth. So let's take a look. I heard a lot of folks saying that the Orange 2, the grip is thinner, thicker. So let's bust that myth. What is it? Is it thinner? Is it thicker? And let's measure right around the screw right here. So we are looking overall at about 6 inches. That's what she said. So tail of the tape 2, orange 2, 6 inches. Let's measure the original. So again, we'll go under and right over the screw, and whoa, it is thinner. So it is, there's a half, it's about 5 3/4. So 5 3/4 on the original orange. So the grip is a little bit narrower, but people might say, hey, well, that's great, but I've got a Shadow 2, or I've got different CZ, and what's that? Well, you know, hey, oh, well, come on over here. There, happen to see this Shadow 2 walking by, so let's take a measurement on it and do comparison. So orange 2, Shadow 2, original orange. So, and again, we've got 6, 5 3/4. Let's go right over that screw again, and 5 3/4. So the original orange is more like a Shadow 2, and then the orange 2 is actually thicker itself. So let's measure length. So tip to tail, we're looking at about 8 inches. Tip to tail, that includes the trigger. If we go in the end of the slide, it's about 7 3/4. That's the original orange. So tip to tail on the orange 2 is about 8 1/4. And if we go tip to tail on the slide, we're looking at about 8 inches, so 1/4 of an inch longer. And you should be able to feel that in the weight and the bull barrel. So let's measure that next. So we got our trusty scale here, our Dr. Meter scale, and let's measure. Let's do the Shadow 2 first. So the Shadow 2, we're looking at 43 ounces. So fairly heavy. Okay, we got Shadow 2 at the top. Let's reset that. Let's go original orange. Original orange is 42. So 42 ounces. So pretty hefty for a race gun. And then the orange 2, which, bull barrel, bigger slide. Let's check that out. Oh yeah. So here we have 44, so a couple ounces heavier. Now, we have another special guest. So Taryn came to the show. So we've got a Taryn Tactical Combat Master 2011. Let's measure the weight of that and do a comparison. So the Taryn Tactical Combat Master, by comparison, is a 35.5. Let's shuffle some of these around. So we got a new participant. So let's do some measurements on him. The grip itself, we'll do it under the beaver tail, right about the same spot as we did the CZ. So it's about between 5.5 and 5 3/4, whatever that measure is. I'm not that great in fraction. So somebody wants to comment in the comments below and act real smart, go ahead and do so. So nothing in this one as well. It's not loaded. So let's measure tip to tail. Tip to tail is about 8.5. So, and if we just measure the slide itself to the end of the barrel, you're looking at about 8. So it's pretty much the same as the Orange 2. So let's measure some trigger pull now. So we've got our trusty Wheeler Engineering trigger pull device. Let's start with Shadow 2. So Shadow 2, nothing in it. I usually hold the trigger right about there. So 1 pound, 13.8 ounces. Let's try it again. So 113, second. Yeah, that's not right. Second, 1.3 ounces. Try it again. 1.89. One more time. 1.15. And we'll do one more for good measure. I think a couple of those might have been misleading. Yeah, 1.11. So we're around the 1.11 to 1.13. And that's the Shadow 2. Now let's go to the Orange. So we'll try the Orange. I pull it right about here. Ooh, 1.2. 1.18. 1.3. 1.9. I think that might have been a little bit of a mispull. Let's try it again. 1.1. So we had one between 1.1 and 1.3. And that's the original Orange. So we'll go Orange 2 and then we'll go to the Big Daddy. Test. Oh, that's meaty. That is very meaty. Okay, so here we go. No, it can't be right. It's not 0.12. All right, here we go. 14 ounces. Okay, let's try this again. 7.7 ounces. Right about here. 14 ounces. Wow. 12 ounces. 1 ounce. This thing's crazy. There's barely anything there. Okay, let's do this one more time. 12.9 ounces. That's crazy. That is super light. Now, on both of these, let's do the trigger reset. So we pull. I think they're both about the same. Yeah. That much. So it's fairly tiny. Let's do it on the CZ Orange 2. Feels just a hair longer. Yeah, just a hair longer. But the trigger pull is definitely lighter on this Orange 2. Now let's try old Terran over here. See what we got. So on the Terran, about 11.2. So far, it's pretty much tied with the Orange. 12.7. Relatively close. 15.4. 14.9. Ooh, 1 pound 10, something. There we go, 11.6. We'll do one more. So far it's relatively neck and neck with the Orange 2. Ooh, 7.6. Let's do one more. 8.2 ounce. I'm going to do two more. Let's see what's going on here. Tell me if I'm doing this wrong, but doing the same on all the guns. 9.3. And 8.9. So we had roughly around 11 here. We're roughly around the 9, a little higher than the 9 ounce. So that is trigger pull. So one more thing, the mags. This is a CZ Orange 2 mag, and fits in, I believe it's the 20 orange. And then I've tried it, the original orange actually fit the Orange 2. So they're interchangeable, which is nice. So if you have a original orange, you can swap back and forth. Really great. All right, we've taken them down, taken the slides off, and let's have a look at the springs. This spring is heavier. I put a 10-pound spring in my original orange, and it works really smooth. The little rubber grommet bushing thing is much thinner on the old version, and it's taking a little bit of a beating, but yeah, I want to say it's about half thickness on the original versus the new one. And the guide rod looks a bit thinner than the old one, but you've got the weight from the barrel and the slide, so you don't really need that much weight on the guide. And then in the front of this thing, I'll have to figure this out, but kind of fits in there, but the other way around, like so, but inverted. And then the bull barrel just kind of slides right on through, whereas the old one comes out the front, or out the back here. And that is heavy. So this is more like a 2011, comes out the front, but it's got this little piece, and I'll figure out how to put it back together in a minute. The old one basically has this plastic bushing that goes in the front here, like so. But the barrels themselves, so you can see this one has got a lot more girth to it. The thickness in the back, yeah, it's thicker in the back on the new orange. Feed ramp and everything. Whoa, this looks like it's got more of a taper on the feed ramp, but definitely in the front. Look at that. The new orange is definitely, it's a ball. And then of course you got the front, so less heat buildup on this one, which means a straighter shooter in the long run. So that's one of the reasons they put the bull barrel in. It was based on professional shooter feedback. So now I've taken the TTI Tactical Combat Master apart and take a look at the bull barrel. So barrel is a little bit longer on the Terran, and it's fairly thick through the front here. On the CZ, you're going to see it tapers down right here. You've got your two weight cuts, and then you'll notice on the inside it's tapered around this section on the CZ. The Terran is full thick, and then in the back on the CZ it's a bit tapered as well. It's the same diameter all the way down on the STI or the Combat Master. And then you can tell in the back it's a little bit thicker on the Terran. So again, we'll look. You've got the tapers around the middle here. On the Terran, it's same size all the way through. And then from the side, again, tapered right here in the middle on the CZ. So that's the difference between the CZ and the Terran. The diameter is about the same on the barrel itself in the front, 3/4 of the way down. So that's a view and a comparison to the Terran. So I'm going to show everybody a trick on putting the new CZ Orange barrel and slide back in. So the barrel itself comes out through the front like so. And then if you take this little piece, notice it's got the notch in the back and it's kind of grooved out on the front. The grooved out part is going to go towards the front, but it also has the little barrel notch. So you're going to stick it on there and just kind of push it in, give it a nice little nudge. And then if you take the spring and the guide rod and push it in, it goes in just like that. So that's the easy way to put it in. Now we'll put it back together and give you final thoughts. All right, so final thoughts. Heaviest gun, trigger pull comparable to the Terran Tactical Combat Master, off by a couple ounces, nothing large. The spring in it is factory. It is probably about the same racking tension as the Shadow 2. On my original Orange, I actually put a 10-pound spring in, so this is more comparable to the Terran Tech, this is like butter. This is the gold standard right here. But of course, the price is like 3 times more than the Orange and the Orange 2. This firing against the Terran Tactical, so the original Orange, I actually like this just a hair better firing than the Terran Tactical. It's probably because of the weight. The trigger is actually a bit heavier, but I do, and I know there's a lot of different reviews out there, I do prefer this just a hair more than the Terran Tactical. Just a hair. I love the CZ. I'm a big CZ fan. The Orange, so the trigger is about the same as this, and it's heavier. So it's we'll take it to the range and I'll shoot. So again, subscribe and like. There's going to be more video on this and the Terran and a few other things. But yeah, for the money, if this shoots the way I think it's going to be compared to the original Orange, this is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And there's a story about this. This is the 9mm. I got it about a week ago. I actually ordered it from a local dealer in town, and I know he gets busy and things happen, and I saw one on Gun Broker, so I'm like, you know what, it's there, I'm going to order it. I'll have to throw one in the truck, have one to shoot at the range kind of thing. And my dealer here in town in Nashville called me and said, hey, things got mixed up, put an order in. Well, the rep thought it was the original, not the 2, and kind of canceled the order. It's discontinued. So CZ actually called me. They called me and left me a voicemail and asked to call him back. So Jay, our local rep, he was apologetic. I'm so sorry. I can order you one. It's going to take another month. And I said, hey, luckily I ordered one. It came in. And we got to talking about CZs and whatnot. And even before we got into conversation, he said, I apologize. This is 100% my fault. I'm sorry. I'm going to send you some swag. And I'm like, dang. Like, I've bought a Kel-Tec before and it screwed up. And I've called Kel-Tec and they're like, oh, ship it back and at your charge and we'll fix it. And it's like they didn't give a shit about you. But CZ, I love CZs. As you can see, I've got several more out in the garage, but I'm a CZ fan for life now, right? That customer service they call, I hadn't even ordered one, and apologizing, gonna get you some swag, gonna make sure you're a customer for life. Like, I am a huge fan of CZ now just because of that, and our local rep to Nashville, Jay. I appreciate you, man, and you know, you got a customer for life. So this thing is going to be a force to be reckoned with. We're going to take it down to the ranch, the Affliction Ranch, and we'll shoot it and give you some more thoughts. But super pleased with the design and what they've done to the Orange 2. So if you can find one, grab it. This might be the first review up. Didn't really make splash at SHOT Show. There was a guy that was, you know, he was standing beside somebody that was shooting one, and he kind of did a little bit of video. But I haven't really heard that much yet. That's why I wanted to put this video out and give you a little bit more detail and measurements and trigger pull and weight and all that kind of stuff. If you can get your hands on one, I would highly recommend it. Thanks, and we'll see you down at Affliction Ranch soon, and we'll be shooting this.